Standard Operating Guidelines, Sections 110-01, Workers' Compensation Claim, Policies and Procedures. Policy is if a volunteer or employee has filed a workers' compensation claim, it is their responsibility to notify the Fire District Administration Office within 72 hours of the time of the claim. If the firefighter or employee has filed a workman's compensation claim, he or she has not participated in practical training, fire calls, or physical activities associated with the district. However, attending monthly business meetings, officer meetings, and training classroom events is acceptable. Once the physician has given the volunteer or employee a full release from the workers' compensation claim, he or she may return with a written notice to the Fire District Administration Office, located at 5206 Monticello Road, before you return to full service. The procedure. The rules and regulations apply to all members from the chief down. If a workers' compensation claim has been made, the firefighter or employee must notify the Fire District Administrative Office within 72 hours if the claim is not directly related to the Fire District. If the workers' compensation claim is directly associated with the Fire District, the firefighter must notify the Fire District Administrative Offices immediately. Until the firefighter is released from the physician, the firefighter may not participate in practical training, fire calls, or any other physical activities associated with the Fire District. The firefighter must first give written notice to the Fire District Administration before the firefighter may return to active duty. Workers' compensation protocols. If you get hurt on an incident, please do the following. If available, please notify command. If you witness someone hurt and unable to communicate, help the firefighter and notify incident command. Incident command's responsibility is to help the firefighter immediately and to notify the highest ranking officer on scene. The officer's responsibility are to notify the fire chief and the fire district's administrative office. The fire district's administrative office will fill out the workers' compensation paperwork sheets for telephone claims. Before turning in a claim on the phone, send to local insurance agent for review of claim via email. After local agents review claims and okay the information, call Workers' Compensation Insurance Company. At this point, a claim number will be given to the fire district. If an injured worker is taken to the hospital by POV or ambulance, give the following information. State this is a workers' compensation claim and contact the Cole County Fire Protection District headquarters office during normal working hours for claim number and insurance information. Address for Cole County Fire Protection District is 5206 Monticello Road. Section 111-01, the Ccfpd Medical First Responders. The policy, the Ccfpd has organized a division within the fire district to take medical first responders. This division was organized to help in assisting with EMS calls and provide assistance on rehab during an extensive incident. These members of the Ccfpd First Responders Division are not firefighters. They are medical first responders providing a basic need in assisting the firefighters on motor vehicle incidents, extended fire incidents, and assisting on EMS calls. Procedures: you first must fill out an application with the fire district. If the evaluation board and the chief have approved your application, you will be on probation for 1 year. You must be issued gear within 6 months. The fire district is required only a medical first responder level certification when you apply to the fire district, and you must maintain this level of certification. You must maintain license requirements and refresher training as required for state certification, providing verification of attendance to the fire district. You must attend the EMS training, CPR training, motor vehicle extrication training when offered in 3 other district training classes specified by the chief. You must respond to incidents when approved by the evaluation board members and the chief, but you may not participate in any incident that you are not trained on. Medical first responders will fall under SOG regulations regarding incident command rules. They will not have a separate command from fire district operations, but fall under the commander on scene. Workplace harassment policy. The board of directors and management wish to go on record to all those who work for or with the Cole County Fire Protection District that they will not tolerate, Harassment of any kind, conduct against Cole County Fire Protection District personnel by other personnel or ancillary organizational personnel, by citizens receiving assistance, or by others conducting business with the Cole County Fire Protection District, including sexual harassment, which is a violation of Section 703-704 of Title VI of the Civil Rights Act of 1964 and amended in 1980. Workplace harassment is either sexual or physical. Workplace harassment is an exercise of power, domination, and control. Both men and women are victims and perpetrators of workplace harassment. Workplace harassment is a very severe matter. It may have a very serious effect on an organization's operations, which result in low productivity, higher cost from lower efficiency, increased turnover and absenteeism, a damaged public image, deterioration of morale, loss of careers, and court awards and settlements. Such behavior distracts from our mission to serve the citizens of Cole County, the state of Missouri, and the United States. Workplace harassment is unprofessional behavior and will never be considered appropriate under any circumstances. The definition is a federal guideline to define workplace harassment as any unwelcome advances, requests, or favors and other verbal or physical conduct when submission to the conduct is made either explicitly or implicitly a condition of work. Submission to a rejection of the conduct is used for the basis for any human resources decision affecting a volunteer or an employee, and such conduct has the purpose of effect of substantially interfering with the staff member's work performance or creates an unintimidating, hostile, or offensive work environment. Workplace harassment may include, but is not limited to, the following behaviors: verbal conduct, innuendos, suggestive comments, threats, insults, jokes, and propositions. Nonverbal conduct, suggestive or insulting noises, obscene gestures, whistling, leering, glaring, and staring. Physical conduct, touching, hitting, pinching, brushing against, or massaging, and or other sexual behavior. Procedures for resolving workplace harassment problems. If you feel you've been harassed, you should tell the offending person that his or her verbal, nonverbal, physical behavior is offensive, and you will file a formal complaint if such behavior takes place in the future. This response should be done at the time of the offense. Document what offensive behavior took place, who was involved, who may have witnessed the behavior, the time and place of the offense in writing. The reason for such a response is to inform these individuals who may not be aware that their behavior is inappropriate, that such behavior is unwelcome, and that they should cease it immediately. Report the incident to your immediate supervisor. Follow the chain of command, or in the event that a person is involved in the matter, the incident should immediately be reported to a senior fire officer. All such reports will be investigated promptly and appropriate action will be taken. All investigations are to remain confidential. Any officer or firefighter aware of the matter and discloses information regarding the matter, except to the investigating team, will be dismissed of his or her position. Persons who are not involved in the incident, but who are aware of such offensive activities, are obligated by law to make such information known to senior fire officers. Investigation procedure. Once a formal complaint has been made, the senior fire officers will be assigned to investigate the incident, or at the request of the fire chief, an alternative dispute resolution person from outside the district may be brought in to conduct the investigation. The investigation team will be made up a minimum of one male and one female person appointed by the fire chief. The charging party will be asked to put his or her statement in writing and have it signed and notarized. This should include the nature of the offensive behavior, who was involved, who may have witnessed the behavior, the time and place of the offense. Provide evidence such as cards, notes, email messages, etc. The charging party will be warned there is a personal risk of a defamation claim from the alleged harasser if the event of the claim is not well founded. Asked what he or she wishes to have happen from the investigation of the incident. The investigators will meet with the accused harasser, discuss the details of the incident, ask for his or her comments, ask the person to write down his or her comments at the time of the meeting. Interview witnesses. If there are no witnesses, interview other personnel on the individual basis and ask if they have been subject to such conduct. Prepare a written report for the fire chief within 1 week, which includes all findings and recommendations regarding the incident. The fire chief will put investigating teams in place within 48 hours, review the investigative team's report, meet with the Ccfpd Board of Directors within 48 hours in a closed-door meeting to discuss appropriate action as determined in the meeting. Take appropriate action. Have the investigative team's report and action report filed in a separate confidential file that is kept in the fire district secretary's office. If the claims against the fire chief, he will immediately notify the board of directors and remove himself from the head of the investigation. The Cole County Fire Protection District Board of Directors will meet with the fire chief as he presents all investigation reports to the board of directors in a special closed-door meeting. They will acknowledge the investigation and make any recommendations to the fire chief. If the claims against the fire chief and the Ccfpd Board of Directors shall place the fire chief on administrative leave, and the Board of Directors shall appoint an investigation team to report only to the Board of Directors. This action shall be completed in a timely manner, and all procedures will remain the same with the exception that the Ccfpd Board of Directors will oversee the investigation. Note, the Ccfpd assumes no liability for any employee volunteer that has been harassed if that employee or volunteer does not follow and comply with this section of the standard operating procedures. Section 113.01, medical leave. The Board of Directors and management wish to go on record to all those who volunteer and work for the district as stating that the family and medical leave as provided below will be granted to all volunteers and employees upon the recommendation of the volunteer or employee's supervisor and subject to the approval of the fire chief. Birth of the volunteer or employee's child. A serious health condition or injury which makes the volunteer or employee unable to perform the function of the position. A workers' compensation injury is stated in section of the SPs. A volunteer or employee must take leave and reduce physical activity when it is medically necessary. In any case in which the necessity for reduced activity due to health conditions, injuries, it is the responsibility of the employee or volunteer to immediately notify the fire chief. The volunteer or employee may continue to participate in monthly business meetings, board meetings, and classroom training. Only after a doctor's written notification will the volunteer or employee return to full physical duty. The district shall require that any serious health condition or injury be supported in writing, issued by the healthcare provider of the volunteer or employee. This notice must be given to the fire chief immediately. Once the volunteer or employee has been released from medical care for the health condition, then written notice must be given to the fire chief before the volunteer or employee may return to full physical duty. If the employee or volunteer and the fire chief agree on light duty, this may be allowed. Must be put in writing of what duties are. The taking of medical leave under this section does not result in any loss of years of service or employment benefits occurred prior to the date of which leave is commenced. The fire chief has the right, under the direction of the Ccfpd Board of Directors, to question any volunteer or employee about their medical condition prior to returning them to active duty. The fire chief must place in written any notification of medical, pregnancy, or injury situation in the employee or volunteer's personal file within 48 hours of notification of the board. At the next regular scheduled board meeting and a requested closed-door meeting for personal issues, this must be placed on the agenda at least 24 hours prior to the meeting. The Ccfpd district assumes no liability for any employee, volunteer, or unborn child if that employee or volunteer does not follow and comply with the sections of this SLP.